That's fucking stupid.
Jokes
It's 8:08. It's time to start the show.
Welcome everybody to tonight's Plumes of whatever. I'm MassBlast09. On the screen we have Understudy 77. In the other screen we have Fubaka. Right here we have the Angstful Vapor. And Ronda Rousey couldn't be with us today because she got knocked the fuck out. So how's everybody doing?
Mass looks like he got hired to protect some Diet Coke.
Yeah, I've been protecting Diet Coke since
Rent a mast.
Since this morning. So they had some issues with Diet Coke Steelers, so here we are. What's happening, everybody?
I couldn't wait. Maybe I could have. I'm not sure. Apparently, I could wait.
Hey, guess what day was really, really long?
What could it be today?
It started early, and it's still going.
Could it be today?
It is definitely.
Would you say this day has been a keep it going?
Keep it going.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for those of you hiding under a rock, we have been at VCC in Tulsa all weekend, launching a juice line. Ooh.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yep.
Look at Massey. He's got a little picture.
I know.
We did that thing.
But there shouldn't be any noise, so it shouldn't pop up. So.
Okay, good.
But Sean, we'll when we do the images and stuff, you'll have to click on me so you can actually see them.
Yeah, not a
There
problem.
won't be any sound coming through. So. Yeah. How's everybody doing?
Tired?
Yeah.
So I had the flight this morning from Tulsa to Atlanta, and then Atlanta to Baltimore, and in my infinite wisdom, my 58-minute layover, my first flight was late, and I had 10 minutes to get from one side of the airport to the other.
That's why I give myself an hour and a half.
Did you have some
I made it on the flight.
There's no.
Were you chopping?
Oh, I pretty much ran. I ran to Robin and Joe Barnett from the Vaping.
Pixor didn't happen.
Yeah. Video or didn't happen.
A fat guy with two big bags, like running down the airport hall. I'm sure someone has a picture somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
But I ran into a lot of cool, there were a lot of people on my flight. The Atlanta flight, the Vaping Militia guys were there. Music Matt that we met with the Audiofog booth, he was there on that flight. So I got to kind of hang out with people at the airport while I waited for the first flight.
What's the IRC channel?
No.
But yeah, I think it's probably safe to say that everybody's pretty exhausted.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yes.
It's okay. It's we're good there.
Yeah. So Fu, what are you vaping on?
Let's see. I've got the Ohm Record Velocity. I've got something I picked up yesterday, Vicious Dunker from Menace Juice.
That stuff was pretty good.
Yeah, Sean tried. He took a hit of the 130 watt Loose Butthole Life.
Is that the one that I tried too?
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's really good. I'll talk about that in a second. It's yummy. I'll say that much. I got a little bit of raspberry in the K-Foot. I've got Dahlia from Cooley's in a vapor flask with a pink Poe sticker on it. Oh, that looks so nice. It looks like a Pop-Tart.
Sick as tits.
In the Snapdragon.
It does look like a Pop-Tart. That's funny.
I've got Pooh's Gold in the Titan, on the tugboat on the Titan.
Did you say Pooh's Gold?
I did.
Nice.
I got Pistachio in the Silo Beast and the Athena. What you got going on, Angsty?
I am unabashedly repping today. I've got the tosser stick with a Poe sticker on it. Hurricane has got Abolish Mint in it. The Provari Radius. The Radius has got my toot on it, and that has got way up here, or whoa, as I call it. My SX flask with the white pose sticker on it. It's got an M-Atti on top. Oh, a little high horsing going on in here. And this has got masked tea.
High horse, zero flavor.
No, you know what? You may not have seen it this morning when I. We'll talk about that.
Save it.
Yeah, we'll save that.
Save it,
Sean.
I'm also just a terrible sellout today apparently, because I have the E8 and the Snapdragon with Mass T. I have the Radius and Nectar with WA. I have the Snapdragon and the Vapor Flask with a black pose sticker with Poo's Gold in it, and I have the Tosser. Yeah, Poo's Gold, and I have the Tosser and the Cloud one with Abolishment. So that's pretty much all. That's all I really took with us was our juice, and I just got back an hour ago, so I didn't really have time to load up anything else.
Master, here we go. This is for who was asking about shooting something with it. Here we go. There. Got it. I can't shoot him in the back of the head. That's not cool.
Draw blood.
Yeah, it will draw blood. But man, everybody's like shoot everything.
Shoot all the things.
I got the velocity on the Shill Sex Flask, and I got my Shillmass Tea in here, and that's really about it. I got it in my Squonker too because driving I drove up to Angsty's from Full Rida, and then we drove up to the middle of nowhere, United States, Tulsa, Oklahoma. I always, we talked about this in, at the con, I always end up going back to my almost 2.5-year-old Squonker, 3D printed, and it's just, one-handed setup while driving, works great. So,
no bullshit. Every time I've ever seen this guy in real life, it has always been with that mod.
This thing has held up really well too. I mean, it's beat up. I don't really I don't have any wraps on it. I don't have anything special on it. But it's got a little bit of wear and tear. And what I'm really surprised about is the dye, the dye that they use to put on that plastic, since that plastic's usually just white. It's actually held up pretty well. So, and I got the Low Pro on there, and I had a few people come up and ask about that during the con, and about how I like the Low Pro, and I said, and still today, that's why I have it on the Squonker, because size-wise and I dripping through this, but squonking, it actually works. So
when I first saw that mod, I thought it was one of those like packs you put in your lunch bag, like a freezer pack. It looks like it, right?
Yeah.
So apparently I can't say "wah" because people don't understand that joke yet, Brian.
Well, I said it.
Yeah, but Cosmo said I'm so high horse I'm not vaping my own flavor. And that's largely because I'm just about out of my own flavor.
Up here.
Big Mischief, like I said, I like the Low Pro as long as you're squonking, because if you're dripping through that grill on the top, it's no buenos.
It's no good.
And even when squonking versus any of the other Addies that I've used, like the what else have I put on there? When I switched my
Velocity?
No, not the Velocity. When I made one bottom fed.
Magma.
Yeah, the Magma. When I switch over to the Magma has a well, so you squonk and you're good to go. With the Low Pro, you can't really, you got to do like half a squonk because there's no deck whatsoever on there. Yeah. So you will be drinking juice if you do a full squonk. And here's something that I always talk about, with devices in Florida. With the heat and the inside, well, I had an issue while we were in Tulsa when we were, inside or outside in the cold and coming into a warm area, and I'd put the mod into my pocket, it would actually auto squonk, and because of the heat. So, the Low Pro is very small. There's no deck whatsoever. So that's something you just got to watch out for. But other than that, it works great as a squonker.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to refresh.
Oh, wait. not to get away from that for just a minute, Big Mischief 08 said it's a bitch to build, though. And he's not wrong.
Right.
It's not very much fun to build.
Yeah, let's just say I don't like, if I can, one advantage of running nice clean juice like Mass T is that those coils are really going to last a while. So I don't really have to, and I just have I have a Canthal build in there, and I have them basically parallel. So I've seen some people do a single one horizontally, but I have it's dual coil, and it's I think it's 28 gauge, and I don't even know how people would do any nickel in, because you really have to move those coils around to get the cotton in there, and trying to pull the cotton through nickel, there's no way that's going to work. So yeah, just keep that in mind. It's priced really good, but you just have to be patient with it when you're building.
So this is a little out of order, but I was just refreshing on this 5 Ponds lawsuit thing that people think we have some involvement in. Okay, so first off, my middle name is not Randall. It's not me.
It's hashtag pray for 5 Ponds.
Yeah, I have zero involvement in it. But so I hadn't actually read any of this because we've been gone. But I'm actually, now that I have read this, I'm really upset, and I want to talk about it because this is really, oh my god. So this is, whatever stupid fucking thing that they have against 5 Ponds right now, this is, defendant is a manufacturer of e-liquids which are used in electronic cigarettes. Defendant's e-liquids contain hazardous substances known as diacetyl and acetylpropanol, in addition to propylene glycol, glycerin, nicotine, and flavorings, as detailed, blah, 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 highest concentration that has ever been seen in any e-liquid that was tested, which is barely any of them. But how is it a good idea to do this? How is it a good idea to do this? I don't understand how it's a good idea to do this.
Well, is it going to be classified as a class action? So are they still looking for plaintiffs or what?
We have plaintiffs. They might be. I'm still reading, but I just don't understand how it's a good idea to be like, we're suing this. The vaping community is suing this company, and I still don't think we know enough about any of
So basically, the basis behind it is hey, 5 Ponds, we asked you if you had this in your juice. You either said no or basically deferred. Then testing came out that said you did, and then we asked you about it again, and you said no. So you're lying. So now we're going to sue you.
Sure.
There's that, but there's also there's some deliberate price manipulation or something in there too. There's there's a few different things. It's not just that, but although that is part of it.
Well, they absolutely set their own.
Oh my god.
Well, here's another thing too. What happens when you're as big as a company like that, or the distributor? A lot of people, and this goes with mods and juice and anything like that. More with juice, right? Because of the nicotine and all that stuff. But when you're selling stuff, you're selling to, let's say, all of the U.S. There's some states that have some weird shit on the books. California. And there's some things, with Proposition 65 or whatever it was that they were talking about, that there is actually a firm that is kind of like instead of being a patent troll, they're a law troll, and they go after big companies who are not conforming to what they're selling in California, when it comes to e-cig stuff. So I think that's something that vendors need to read up on, instead of just we'll just sell wherever.
Mm-hmm.
But so, from the company's inception in November 2012, it is manufactured and sold high-end e-liquids in a variety of flavors, blah, 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 all containing various amounts of DA and AP, depending on the flavor. While Dependent claimed on its website that it had moved to a source solely of diacetyl-free ingredients, which their source may have told them that, right? Like, that was a huge thing in vaping for a long time, where you could go and it would say diacetyl-free flavoring, acetylpropanol-free. This was a thing. Like, the flavor companies would say that. Like,
More importantly, Sean Coldplunk in chat just said, was the suit brought by Fat Daddy? Did 5 Ponds find a way to bottle his patented 510?
It might have been the threading for the bottle caps. You never know.
Oh my god.
Yeah, the way that
fucking patenting.
Watch out.
It subsequently discovered that trace amounts were found in its products. A number of tests done in 2014 shown that it does contain it at more than trace amounts, thus contradicting its claim. Defendant did not disclose these results until 2015, and only in an attempt to rebut the test that had been conducted by Cloud9. And again, we still go to the fact that there, depending on what lab you go to, depends on where your tests sit. And I mean, we've seen multiple different test results from different. I don't know. I'm still kind of wholeheartedly against this. I think I need to read the rest of it before I say more, but I really feel like I'm wholeheartedly against this.
510 pawns.
510 pounds.
Ahmed, are you attacking Rodentia?
Did you get it?
So yeah, that aside, Poe is live. Yeah, don't.
Yay!
Please don't sue us.
You're gonna get negative nothing.
Here's the catch. You ready? Because since we're not making any claims of it about the fact that we think, except for the fact that we think it's delicious.
Yes.
Everything else, there's no other claims to have a problem with it, right?
Yeah.
There you go.
It's delicious.
It is delicious.
Oh my god.
And it's live. And we should probably say that it is live from
Gaslight.
Vapor Supply. Coupon code kickbacks for 15% off today only.
Yeah, you've only got a couple hours left to get that done.
Lab Rat Liquids is running a big promotion. I think he's sending like his whole line in 30 mils if you buy the whole line of Poe from his site.
Mm-hmm.
So he has it.
He only has it in 3 milligram though, asterisk.
Silver, he doesn't, or he does?
He's only carrying.
Oh yeah, he
milligram
has
right now.
Silver Steam does not have it up yet, but he will soon.
Yep.
Vapor Z in the UK. Haystown Vapes in Canada has it up now for anybody in Canada who's interested. And Vape Dojo has it on their site and in their stores. I made a mistake when I said it was in store only. It's online as well. I think that's everybody.
Yeah, for now.
For now.
For now.
We're
And
going
that's
to condense all this information into one place in the future.
we did. It's a
Yes.
It'll be called Gaslight Authorized Retailers on their website.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you go to theownpage.com without the live, which if you're watching it live at the moment, just go to the root page. The top post at the moment has got all this stuff and links to their sites, and the coupon code is good tonight and all this.
Yep. So,
I did that on my phone.
do we have any newsy stuff that we should to get out of the way? What do we have to get out of the way? Newsy stuff. Who do you have?
Yeah, I think
I'm still rolling with my usual punches. I got the fortune.
The problem is Sean got off on this fucking news thing before Ahmed got to go, and then now we're all out of sorts.
Go figure, Sean, bringing it down.
Shut the fuck
See,
up.
you had to get that mute going.
Fresh on my mind, ruin the order.
Hit it, Ahmed.
So today's fortune reads, "It ain't worth shit if just your name is on it."
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know if
Oh my God.
that might have been a fast tech fortune because that was on a napkin, not on normal paper. Crucifixions. So I don't have my usual sound guy. He's somewhere else. So without further ado, oh, God damn it, YouTube! I think we got it.
I can't hear it.
I
Get it
can.
closer, I can't hear it.
No, he's good. He's good. It's perfect.
Oh boy! Wait for the recorder to drop.
Man. bleh.
Seriously, what is this?
You guys like shit on USPS so much. Hey, let's copy Juice like them too.
I know, right?
Fucking knuckleheads.
I just have a feeling that that's always going to be late and possibly 50% lost if I order it.
Yes. Wow.
Oh, this one actually came from Phil. That he sent Dimitri.
Oh, seriously? Are you kidding me?
Those aren't children's characters.
This is an old one that I've had for some time now. It's been in the arsenal.
Wow.
This one's especially bad. Backwoods.
Oh my god.
Oh.
The funny thing is, backwoods are If anyone smoked those back in the day, those weren't bad.
And
Backwoods.
the best is the bottom where it says boss status.
I just love that we have juice
Instead of Cutwoods.
now copying
Boss
other juice
style.
vendors.
Wow.
What the hell does that say?
Is that Dunkaroos?
Yep.
Dripperoos instead, huh? Oh, it's even got the little kangaroo.
Yes, it does.
Nice.
You know, I'm very saddened by the fact that we can find 5 or 6 of these a week.
Yep.
I'm very saddened by this.
Sounds like Rosie O'Donnell's theme song.
That man I'd hate to fight.
Amanda, I can't shoot Foo. He's not in the same room.
I'm gonna cut that, you know, because Celine Dion's voice I think came in.
Thank you.
So you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna rewind it.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah, this is a recent one. I think this one came from Let's Vape Safe. He's been like my mole on Instagram when I'm not, you know, on pooping on Instagram. So doesn't look familiar to me.
So to sum all that up, you should stop doing this. And Ahmed, how do you do it?
Stop it!
There you go.
Stop it.
All right. Don't buy that shit. Stop buying that shit.
Seriously.
Stop making that shit.
Yes.
But it looks cool.
Meh. We gotta talk about nice food besides the. Besides that.
Crucifixions.
You want to talk like Flask, man?
We could. I had it in the list to talk about, but I think we probably should wait.
We're gonna wait for our guest.
Okay. Oh, right. One of the juices I got over the weekend from Menace. This is called. I actually quite like their artwork. Where is my computer's been off all weekend. It's cold. Where's my?
It's tired. It was
Yeah.
cold as huevos.
Look at this artwork here. Ew. Looks very GTA cartoonish. I like it. This flavor in particular, their line is basically concentrated toward drippers. Very high VG, very rich. As I think Matt from what the hell's his name? The dude in Arizona who's a lobbyist.
Yeah.
Sean.
Matt Morales.
Yes, Matt Morales calls them fat kid lines. All savory, all very sweet. Juices, a lot of them are very yummy. This one made my Johnny tingle the hardest. It's called Vicious Dunker. It's like a glazed donut and crunch berries.
That one was really good, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll put it up. Yeah.
Does yours leak food? Actually, yeah. My one critique with this bottle, I love the black glass, but I'm not the biggest fan of these child-proof caps, because not only are they child-proof, they're food-proof. And mine leaked because I didn't realize when I put it back on it was crooked. But these things are a bit of a task to get off. But they don't take away from some yummy ass juice.
It is good.
It's really sweet, and I haven't had it with the coffee yet, but I probably will tomorrow.
Hey Ahmed, that bottle that you gave me to ship back.
Actually, I had it with coffee yesterday. What the fuck am I talking about?
You had put a piece of paper around the top. Was that top leak?
No, actually, so I like this one enough. I'm like, I want more. So at the end of the day yesterday, I went back to their booth and I picked up their 120, which they're using for samples. It got a little messy because, mad people dripping from it and stuff. And I'm like, I'm going to take this home with me. And Odie was like, all right, let me break down my booth. I'll give it to you. So he gave me his big bottle tester. I sent it with Mass because I couldn't take it with me on the plane. So Mass is going to send it to me. I just threw the paper towel on there just because it had been all, like, juicy from hands touching it, and those tops aren't ideal for dripping. They're good for filling bottles with.
Yep.
The those bottle tops that look like the things Madonna wore on her boobies in the 80s. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Swirl. Yeah.
Swirl.
I'd say that one. I tried like 4 or 5 of the flavors out of their line, and that one was by far my favorite. I like donuts. Is there anything that I can't do?
Yeah.
I mean, we're gonna talk about VCC later anyway.
Yep, we're gonna do VCC.
Oh my god.
Did you hear that?
Thanks, my God.
That was brutal.
Cake farts.
Yeah.
Oh, did you let one go?
Dude, I can't believe it didn't come through.
It had
It's that barbecue.
Oh, that barbecue was awesome.
Dude, we had some really, really dope barbecue yesterday.
I think we should have eaten there every night. I just, you know.
Not
The
like I was
hotel food
fucking
was
saying
good.
that since like Tuesday.
The hotel food was good, but it wasn't, you know, as expensive as it was good. So.
Yes.
Yeah, it was good, just not, you know, high horse good.
Oh. You got a fan blowing it at my face.
Mm-hmm.
That's not
Angsty, what do you got going on?
I'm still looking for a picture that Raul was asking me to find. That was from several days ago.
Well, so
Wrong.
they posted the someone posted that Ronda Rousey picture, and I was going to post the one that one of our friends had posted, which was Sloth from the Goonies.
Oh yeah, that's a great one.
You know, asking for Baby Ruth.
I love the internet when things like this happen. Like, you remember when Manny Pacquiao walked into a telephone pole of a counter jab?
Yeah.
And then, yeah, all the memes. I love that's like when I love the internet at its most. Like after Ronda Rousey got the shit beat out of her on Saturday. Lots of dank memes.
So I as I did get to take a lap around the con this weekend, I was short a couple batteries because a couple of my batteries, the HE2s are not taking very much of a charge. So when we rolled by the Good Life booth, they gave me a couple of cells, which was very kind of them. So they've got them rebranded, but they told me straight up that they're HG2s, so they're doo-doo browns, and they've got the stats, the real stats on the front. The 30,000 baud and all that shit.
I got some doo-doos too, but
what's cool is that they're doo-doo browns that aren't shit colored.
Right. Well,
someone's got to represent. This one matches your shirt, Sean.
Yeah. I like the doo-doo color. It's funny.
But this is the VCC shirt.
It is, which I can't find mine. Ruby had mine the first day, and then I never saw it again. I think she probably tried to give it back to me, and I probably
She put it in my bag. I had Masty's. His got returned to him.
We were busy. Doo-doo browns. The next thing I want to mention briefly, and I'll be brief because Sean talked about it last week, but I did pick up a Radius. I sold a mod and bought a Radius, which arrived. Provari very kindly sent it to the hotel. I wasn't going to get it to me in time, and I asked them to send it elsewhere, and they did. So I did use this quite a bit this last weekend. Overall, the plastic doesn't feel like plastic. It feels more sturdy than that. It feels like it coated something else, but it is, if you whack it, if you tap on it with your fingernails and stuff, I mean, you can definitely tell it's not metal, but it doesn't feel cheap. It still feels like I could bash a bear over the head with it and kill it, which is nice. The other thing that I thought was going to be a real big pain in my butt is the bottom cap, because I'm certainly one that likes to recharge my batteries and externally in an XR or something else. This guy's really not that bad, actually. So once you kind of get used to it, what I've been doing, and I don't know if Sean does the same thing, I grab it like this. Yep. With a finger on both sides, a thumb and a forefinger on both sides, and just spin the little guys, and then it just lifts right off, and you set it down. It's not that big of a deal. Throw a new battery in it, and the same thing when you're attaching it back, you're just grabbing it down. The only thing that slightly weirds me out about it, while I understand the importance of that super firm spring and that blank that's soldered in to be the negative contact, I understand why it's there, and I imagine that the contact is super, super good. So that's cool. It does weird me out just a little bit moving a wire that's soldered to something on the inside of your mod every time I do that. Probably be fine. Now, that said, that's not what they recommend doing anyway, right? They recommend putting one in, being done with it, plugging in the USB. I am admittedly using it a little bit outside of their recommended use case.
Me too.
It's my fucking mod. I'll use it how I want to use it. Hey,
good thing you have that brilliant Provari warranty.
Exactly. That's exactly right. The firing button is the same firing button feel as as my old 2.5, which is, I think, fantastic. Because that's always the nicest part about it. It's not clicky, but it still has tactile feedback, which is crazy. But this one's nice and wide, as opposed to the other one's a little more eraser head style. This one's nice and wide. It still feels really good. Weirdly, the thing that weirded me out about it the most is the adjustment buttons that are clicky. That's weird. I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting, the Provari sort of push on those two adjustment buttons. Downsides, I absolutely loathe the fact that I can't lock the firing button. So this weekend, it was cool enough to where I was wearing jeans, and obviously I was carrying around a lot of mod always. My GMFD and my Flask SX and the Radius, if not the micro as well. And that's a lot of mod, and I did have one of the mods fire in my pocket because I forgot to lock it. It stuck in my pocket. Didn't think too much about it early on. Fired my pocket, burnt my cotton, no big deal. Just went and fixed it. But I got better about locking everything, but I can't lock this one. So you got to kind of be a little bit more careful. Now, is it a little inset? Yes, it is a little inset, right? If something flat gets on top of this, it's not going to fire the mod. That's cool. But, anything can wiggle its way.
I also still like to have to be able to lock my fire button.
Yeah. Now, do you need it most of the time? If this is going to be in a pocket by itself, like in a cargo pocket or something, probably not, right? It's not like it's too easy to push or anything, but you should be able to lock it. I really, and I didn't own a P3, so I haven't experienced this scrolly menu scrolly. I don't like it. I love the fact that we now have 3 buttons, 2 to dedicated basically right now to adjust the wattage. I don't like the fact that I have to do a timing thing.
Don't make the menu go any quicker.
When you're in the menu, these 2 little other buttons should do something, right? It should be like the SX or like the DNA where they're functional in the menu, and I think that would make this thing a lot more smooth.
I did suggest that to them, so I'm hoping that.
Yes, I did as well. I talked to Tim, and we'll see. Who knows? But I think that's a little bit something that can be fixed. Both of those things can be fixed with firmware, which you can update yourself now. And if they decide to implement it, then maybe it can be fixed. I think that would be really cool if they decide to do it. I haven't had a problem with the 510. This is a design choice that I still don't quite understand. I don't get the P3 thing that's raised off the top. If they have to make the whole mod another 2 or 3 millimeters taller to inset this a little bit and figure out a different method to not have that just sort of sit there, that would have been really awesome. But I haven't had any connectivity problems. I haven't had anything like this. I haven't noticed it scratching unduly at all. And I use it pretty heavily for at least a day and a half this weekend, and vaping all day in the con. You're setting down, picking up, knocking over, talking stuff, throwing in your pocket with other stuff, other mods, everything. It's been pretty solid so far. I do like the fact that this thing is so sturdy. Very cool. Battery life crazy. Like Sean mentioned, this thing discharges down to 3.3 to 3.1 volts. Wow. It makes your battery feel like it lasted a really long time. And if you go back to our Battery Mooch show, that's one of the things he did mention, that he mentioned that a lot of times, we stop discharging these batteries at 3.3, 3.5 volts. That's going really easy on these batteries. So I have to think going down to 3 is okay. It's not gonna stress them unduly outside their spec, and it gives you more battery life. And it clearly
it's only vape.
It's only vape.
You have to be mad.
Well, you have to be a bitch.
Yes. So the flasks, we're gonna talk about later.
Yep.
That's in my notes. So one thing I am going to mention in the news that I found earlier this week that I wanted to share with everybody, the joking post that I heard said Tomacco And if you remember, cast your mind back a few years ago to The Simpsons, where they crossbred tobacco and tomatoes, and
I think the year was 1998.
that very well may be the case. That was a year or two ago. And I'll paste the link to the article. So the TLDR on this article is they, instead of using nicotine. Oh, so let's back up just a little bit more. Nicotine is found in a variety of plants in the plant kingdom. Usually used as a pest deterrent, right? So obviously it's in. What are you doing?
No, I mean, like, there's like a little bit in a lot of vegetables.
Yeah, the nightshade family particularly has quite a bit of them. So you'll find a little bit in potatoes. You'll find a little bit in tomatoes. You'll find a little bit in obviously tobacco leaves and a few other things. Mm-hmm. But this company is doing something a little bit different. So instead of extracting nicotine from tobacco leaves or even nicotine from tomatoes or potatoes, they're extracting tomatine from tomatoes.
Spaghetti.
Tomatine. They're putting it in spaghetti. No. So this tomatine apparently is a kind of a sister chemical to nicotine, has kind of similar properties to the human body, but it's not nicotine. So I know there's a lot of companies out there that are trying to do a little bit of a silly shuffle, a little bit of a sidestep to some of these rules that are, or proposed rules that are coming down the pipeline by doing a variety of things, which I won't go into at the moment. But this one is a little bit more interesting in that they're not jacking with nicotine at all. It's tomatine, and that's not nicotine, so that seems to be a little bit more of a clear case thing. I think I might have to buy some of this stuff just to see how it is. It's a nicotine alternative, and I thought it was interesting, so I figured I'd let you guys see it. So, articles in the side. Next and last thing I have to talk about is the M-Atti, which I will zoom up on now. So, the M-Atti, 3-post dripper, retails kind of high. I think what's it, 130, Sean?
Yeah, 130.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah, something like that. Here we go. One of the neat things about it, this little top guy comes out. So the whole top cap doesn't just come off. It's just this boop, middle part. Look, you can see down in there. And you can watch a review. You can watch, Damien's got a review on this, and I think a few other guys do too.
Of course, $800.
Huh?
Of course he does. It's $800.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's not. It's only like $130. The problem is the guy that makes it is pretty insistent, and he likes the fact that it's an exclusive sort of cool thing, and he's not making a lot of them. Sure. So basically, it's kind of hard to get a hold of, which means all the high-end hemo funky guys, they're willing to pay the pretty prices to get a hold of them. So it's going for up to $800. It's crazy. This one is Matt Protzman's from Vape Dojo, and he very kindly lent it to me this weekend to look at, because I really kind of wanted one, but I'm not going to pay.
You're a generous goblin.
Yes, a generous goblin. So very cool. The airflow is a little bit different. You should go. I'm not going to try to go over the whole thing. There's a bunch of little things going on here. The thing is, though, it is really a 3-post dripper. Is it worth $130? Maybe. I'd try one for $130. Is it worth $800? I think those people are insane.
Now, see, when I tried it last night, it tasted muted as fuck.
It did. So to that point, this morning I got down in the car with Mask Blast, and we started driving home. Well, it's my home. And one of the first things I did is
fart.
Fart.
Yeah.
That's true. I did do that. And then after that, I pulled out the SX Flask and I dripped some Mask tea in it, and it was quite tasty, and it's still quite tasty. I think after 2+ days of vaping 24/7, may have burnt out our palate a little bit, because it's the same build as it was last night. It's actually got more air than it had in it last night, and it's actually pretty good.
Maybe, but I also had, Mass Tea, which was what you had in there, in the Snapdragon as well, and I could still taste that, and it still tasted lovely.
Yeah, I'm vaped all day. It's great.
At the very least, I still think the Snapdragon beats it by a fucking landslide.
But the Snapdragon gets pretty freaking hot too. If you're vaping, I don't know. What did you let me try my juice on the Snapdragon app?
33?
Mine or his?
No, his.
33.3.
53?
33.3.
33. Okay, so I don't know.
Snapdragon can get a bit hot.
Yeah, well, something that I was talking to Angsty about was So I had that build on my was it on the Flask? Basically, I had 16 wraps of 22 gauge, dual coil, and what was starting to happen was, I'd have them, taste the juice, and basically it was, it was so much wire that it was cooking the juice.
Mm-hmm.
So the cool down of it was just sitting there cooking it. So
noisy cricket, right?
Yeah, that's right. It was a noisy cricket, and it was just burning. There's no airflow. You'd have to sit there, for a super long inhale without hitting the button. And so I'm wondering if, I don't know, if that can start happening if you had all the air holes open, but only so much airflow can cool that thing down. So
anyway, I think the bottom line with me is that while the build itself was relatively good, I think the coil was a little too close to the top. I think it was making it taste a little funny. I did push it down a little bit. It got better this morning. I don't know what to say. I think it's very tasty. I appreciate lending it to me, Matt, because I am enjoying it at the moment. And I'll send it back soon, probably. Maybe. Sean, you're up. That's it.
Cool. So I got some quick stuff. So you were talking about nicotine. The other one is the company that we found there, NKTR. And I'm not going to go too far into it because we're going to have them come on and chat at some point in the future. But they're doing synthetic nicotine. So they're doing lab-made nicotine, not from from cigarettes or not like derived from anything or from tobacco or anything like that. So it's interesting. They gave us the flavors a try. We tried them out. I don't quite have an opinion on it yet, but I'm definitely interested in what they're doing. And I'm kind of curious to see how it's going to work regulation-wise, right? I got a juice that I'm quite fond of while I was there as well. It's by the guys behind Boilermaker. It's Chewy Clouds Red Wedge, and I will say this: it is the most spot on, perfect fucking bubblegum I've ever had. Like, it is spot on, delicious, lovely bubblegum, and it's fantastic. And lastly, it looks like Chicago got fucked again.
At least one part of Chicago did.
One part of Chicago with a 95%, 95 cents a mil tax.
Yeah.
That's fucking bullshit.
That sucks.
Horse shit.
Because, you know why? It's because Chicago, guys. I mean, pay to play, right? Pay to play. That's the way it works.
Yeah.
But it sucks.
Yeah, Gizzard, we're sharing a shower.
Yeah, right now. That's what we're doing.
Mm-hmm. That whole thing. Now, is that affecting just the city, or how is that breakdown for?
So that one's only one county. Everybody else is 55 cents, I think.
So state is 55 cents, and just in the city, it's
And that particular county is 95 cents.
City tax.
Oh, city tax. Okay.
55 cents for the city. That's one particular area. That's
yeah. I wonder how that's going to work. How that's going to work with online sales.
I don't know. I'm not sure about the online implications yet. I wouldn't be surprised if we start to see some vendors not shipping there anymore, though.
Yeah. No. I mean, not only that, but hey, there goes all the B&Ms. See you later.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What do you got? Anything, Masty?
I do. And if you want to go ahead and click up on me, I will. First of all, I wanted to thank Dog Mouths, who's in the chat right now, for this awesome opportunity to be able to put the Dog Mods ammo can 5000 to the test and have our juice testers on. It was this is something Dog Mods built a while back, and we used it at another con, and he takes it to his local B&Ms all the time. It's pretty awesome. As you can see there, it's a straight pass through, and it can power up to 5 DNA 200s, all at 200 watts at the same time. And 200 watts. And this thing is awesome. And I tell you what, it is great for a convention. Everything retracts back into the inside of the box. All you have is just a straight ammo can, and you can, it's so rugged. You can just throw it in the back of the trunk, have no worries whatsoever. Everything's protected inside. There's nothing sticking out of the back. So kudos to El Senor Dog Mods for letting us borrow this and use this. And man, tons and tons of inquiries about it.
Fantastic tester rig.
Yeah, and I'll say this. Some people were saying, because somebody posted a picture about it, some people were saying that BRV liquids, not VaporVet, but BRV liquids also had an ammo can there. But as far as I know, it was really neat. It was the ammo can, and it had, it looked like XLR jacks on it, and they used it looked like 20 millimeter shells.
Well, yeah. Wait, they had XLR jacks. That's what connected up. Don't we have the patent for that from the contest last week?
I think we do. Yeah, we need to hit them up about that.
Yeah,
and I don't think theirs had DNA 200s in the mods, did it? I think it was just straight.
I walked by it.
Straight mechanical, because I know a guy for a while who was doing XLR.
So we kept having people come over, and they're like, "Oh, it's just like the one BRV had." I'm like, "Absolutely not. Dog Mods is way better." Because we got DNA 200 at 200 watts, and it was kind of funny because there was a company there by the name of Goo E-Sig or Goo Sigs or something like that, and they're from overseas, and I saw them eyeing it, trying to get it to Fastech, but they actually stole Wooby Woo and tried to, put 8 or 9 mods in her hand, so it's kind of funny. But yeah, this ammo can was awesome. Thanks again, Dog Mods, for letting us borrow that, and the hashtag kickbacks. So, all right, next thing I wanted to pull up was, let me pull this thing up right here. Was a picture that I saw, and bear with me since I only have one screen to open this, but. This is something that was posted on Reddit, and as you can see, there's, what is that, like 12 batteries in there. Looks like a parallel, straight mech mod with a MOSFET and 10 batteries. And if you can kind of figure out what that is, yes, ladies and gentlemen, that is a demilled Claymore mine. Okay, and there's a picture of it. Since everything that's going on in the world around us today, hey, let's make a fucking Claymore mod because we can. This stuff, 252 Mods is making this now. I don't know how true this is. You can stick stickers on anything and call it your own. But I think that's just ridiculous. And you could say it's a joke, it's a tester, stuff like that. I don't know. I'm not down for that. That's pretty insane. I mean, there was some funnies about it saying, oh, hey, if it blows up, it'll act just like it's supposed to. But that's I don't know.
That's like the pistol mod, sticking the barrel in your mouth and vape and all that crap.
Yeah, that'd be great walking around with that and carrying that around. So next thing I wanted to show is kind of another cool picture that a user on Reddit, I don't have that in front of me right now, posted. But there's there. And we all can remember this. It's he's calling it the tree of wire, and where you're just holding onto that spool and it slips, and now you have a slinky.
That's for people that don't use these.
Yes, there you go, right there. That's exactly right. So I thought it was kind of a cool picture and put that up. And another real quick image that I saw that was pretty neat was a billboard that a user put up on Reddit. From our friends at notblownsmoke.org that reads, vaping is a consumer-created solution to the tobacco problem. Notblownsmoke.org. I thought that was pretty awesome. I think it's...
If I remember right, that one actually wasn't Not Blowing Smoke. It was somebody that just supports them. They put it up with their own funds.
I think you're right. So that was really neat, given Not Blowing Smoke some props there by somebody else doing it. So I thought that was cool. And any of you that have been around ECR on Reddit know the user Dong Magnum. So on our way to the convention a couple days ago, me and Angsty decided to stop and find where this sign was because we saw it from the highway. And as you can see here, let's see if I can, I don't know if I'm going to be able to zoom in, but back there in the back what that sign says is Dongs. And it was Dongs, ammo, and guns. So it was a gun shop. And a little interesting story about this picture was, as I was going up the street so Angsty could take the picture, pull right in the middle of the fucking road and block the whole road. We didn't know what they were doing. The firemen jump out. We're like, okay, well, right now is a good time to pull over. So I pull over to the side of the road. We get out, and, we're taking the picture. And this big dude and his wife come out. And he's like, what the fuck? He's like, can I help you guys? And we both turn around with, like, this giggle. And we're like, oh, we're just taking a picture.
We got that much out, and then he goes, oh, you take a picture of the dog sign?
Yeah. His wife goes, oh, you're taking a picture with Dongs. And it was, they turned around and put two and two together, and they, started laughing. But it was just.
Well, that's because I told him, I said, one of our buddies goes by the handle Dong Magnum. And she about lost her shit.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. So, hey, out of towners, but hey, it was good times.
Yeah.
Yeah. Other than that, I think that's about all I have for news.
So shall we introduce the guest who needs no introduction to talk about the rest of everything that we have to talk about tonight?
Yeah, let's do it. So for those that have been living under a rock, the man, the myth, the legend, everybody, Pete Basardo, in here in the flesh and muted. Oh, he was muted. He said keep it going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah.
So this is the first time we've had him back on since that silly video we shared.
DJ Fort Lauderdale.
Yes, thank you very much.
Fun Plumes fact. Phil was the first big timer to ever agree to come talk with us on Plumes.
True.
He must have had a lot of drinks before accepting.
I don't know what possessed me to do such a thing.
He's talent.
And I think back then too, Phil. I think that we were one of the first, I would say, YouTube shows that you had been on. I mean, I know some people had interviewed you, obviously, and put up, you put up vlogs before, but something, live like this that can rewatch also was one of the first too. And then after that, I'm sure you just got bombarded.
My feed definitely has gone up since that first show. I mean, I'm waiting for the PayPal to come through from you guys.
The checks will be payable to I'm not gonna.
Hey, you guys are right. I just started using those bead-alon.
Yeah.
These things kind of kick some butt, don't they?
Yes,
they really do.
They really do.
I found those things. God, when was it? That was like a year and a half ago or something. I started. They're awesome. They're dirt cheap. They're super simple.
Yeah.
They prevent one of the worst sounds in vaping, which is that.
Yeah.
You're like, fuck.
That's the Insta-Slinky. That's what I call it,
dude.
Well, I don't even bother rewrapping it. I just throw them away and get another.
Yeah. You can save some of it, fine, but most of it's just.
Exactly.
Well, looks like I'm going to deal with my building for the next year and a half. So now it's all out on the table.
We have a lot of kind of cool stuff to chat about, like VCC, and we have a little bit about the future of vaping to talk about with Phil. But first, we wanted to wait for him because we need to talk about the SX flasks, and we figured that Phil would want to be a part of this.
Sure.
So, our impressions of the SX flask after this weekend.
Well, you know what? Now, you remember when we were talking earlier, I had my gear on and I was fighting with a K-Fun, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, well, I thought I was fighting with a K-Fun because it was the K-Fun that was giving me a hard time. Turns out, because I had a lot of issues with the SX flask at the meet, and I just realized it's not my K-Fun's problem, it's not my atomizer's problem, it's the Flask's problem. So I tried it with another atomizer here, and I've got my velocity. This is a brand new build. It's rock solid. and if I put it on this test box, which looks just like this test box, I get 0.14 ohms. Okay. Now I take it off of that test box and I put it on this test box right here. See, I don't make this shit up, guys. And, if I'm going to make a claim, I better back it up. I get 0.12 on there, and then I put it on the Flask, and I go ahead and zero out my resistance. I don't know if you guys have seen this at all, right? I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I get 0.850. So there's something going on with this. That's why I was rebuilding that K fund, because that was the thing that was going on. I was getting all kinds of weird experience from it, like dry hits, dry coil, all kinds of a mess. And it's not. There's actually something wrong with this.
So you remember what Sean was talking about? This it was tasting kind of weird. It kind of tasted burny when we were testing the M-Atti last night. So we were sitting there with Matt with Suck My Mod, and I handed it to him to see if he could see the same thing, because I thought it tasted burny. And he hit it, and he noticed that the resistance was off. And
okay, so maybe it's not just me then.
It's not. Right. So apparently it does it with the M-Atti as well, that's just fine, because there's only a couple hundred of these things out there. So if it's just the M-Atti, then no problem.
It did it on my Snapdragon. Remember that sound I made during setup?
Yeah, you did make a noise.
I made the dry hit sound.
Yeah. So see, I've had less of an issue with resistance, and I've had more of I accidentally hit this button with the side of my hand.
I love the way the thing works. I went through 2 sets of batteries over the weekend on it. I like the form factor, but yeah, the new up-down buttons, I prefer the old ones, because accidentally hitting, holy shit, why is my build so warm? Because it's a powerful plus.
Right. Now I will say that I got the okay from Charlie to say this first. He is working with EE right now to basically implement an update that allows you to lock the up and down buttons.
Yay!
Which will solve the problem of I'm holding it like this and I just accidentally hit the button that's right there that has a
Wait a minute, what are you holding it like this for? You wrap a pinky like I do. Come on.
Well, it's fine. Even wrapping a pinky, same thing though. I'm still right there over the button to hit.
Oh, that's true. It's worse in your right hand for whatever reason.
Yeah, well, because in your left hand, your thumb and you're down lower.
Right, exactly.
And part of I think the issue with that is what the up and down buttons do when the Flask is either asleep or is in neutral where nothing's happening, right? You're not vaping anything like that. If you just took a drag and you hit the up, that's gonna go right into your modes. Okay,
and that's an SX issue, right? Not a Flask.
Right. So that's okay, because you fire again and you're back into the same window. Now, and this is something that we talked about, is if you just take a drag and you hit the down button, the first thing that's gonna happen is you're gonna change your actual mode on the bottom between soft and eco and powerful. So something that you saw, Sean, was you thought something was happening with the Flask when it was actually just the button press. Because when you have it, for example, on 60 watts like I have it right now on the Velocity at a 0.2 ohm coil, and you go to eco, it's going to drop me down to 40. So that's going to be interesting to see what they do software wise to help with the button push. Now, and I will say this, I think if the buttons were clickier, it might help with that. Right now they're clicky, but I think that if they had more of a tactile push, it might help with that. Unwanted, button mash.
Unwanted press. Yeah. Now the other thing I wanted to mention that I know I saw for a while when the first rounds of the Flasks, that's what I've been calling it, the Flask SX, went out. So there's some people complaining about the coating. I talked to Charlie, and they have remedied a problem in that step. Those first ones went out, and all the ones that are shipping now, they look like this, and the finish is awesome. Really nice. It's really, really, really nice. They really have done a banging job on the way this thing looks and feels. The stainless plate on the bottom, which fixes a lot of the problems that people had with damaging their flasks. Sometimes the softer aluminum on the outside can get damaged, and then you couldn't get your battery caps out. Stainless bottom plate won't be happening as easily now, which I think is pretty cool. It's still stainless. It's still metal. It'll scuff. So as I've used and abused it this last weekend, there's some surface scuffing on the very bottom, but who cares? It's on the bottom, but it's there. but it looks remarkable. It's very functional as well. It gives it some heft. It's got a couple niggles.
I got a couple more with it if you want to hear them.
But
By all means.
it's all you.
So when you're looking at the screen and you're adjusting up and down, the buttons are reversed.
Yep.
Right? I'm not sure how you're going to solve that one. The other problem, I hate using a coin to open up the battery caps. I'd rather I have another Flask that has those like pull-out tabs, which really aren't all that much better. But I hate that.
The third class method, right?
Yeah. And these devices absolutely need battery orientation indicators on them somewhere. All of them do. I'm pretty sure that's a standard somewhere that needs to be on the device, and I don't see that. But I think you guys are right. I think if the buttons had a little bit more of a firm press, it would be a kind of a better to use device.
Phil likes his clicky.
No, I don't like clicky. I like tactile.
Yeah,
I would be happy with a way to lock it.
I mean, I prefer tactile any day to something that looks or feels like a nipple. You know, I mean, so that way, you know, it's a lot better to be able to not have any issues with the push. So I agree.
I do think. I mean, other than not being able to lock this and these up and downs. I mean, the up and downs look awesome, right? It's just not quite as functional as I would hope. That aside, the finish is spot on. It functions well. It's not quite as battery efficient as a DNA, but I think that's an SX thing.
Yeah, but it does hit. I mean, those preheat modes and stuff. I think that sags a bit, or not sags.
Yeah.
That Canthal Boosto.
I've been pretty happy with the thing all in all. I haven't had the resistance issue though, but now I think throughout the week I'm actually going to start popping addies from device to device and see if I can get different resistance readings and see if I have that problem. Because I haven't felt that yet, and I've had a low watt tank and a higher watt dripper on there so far, but I'm going to play with that and see if I can repeat that.
Yeah.
Play with it. Sean, play with it. Keep it going.
Keep it going.
It's totally not like an all the time problem, because that happened last night and I've been using it all day and I haven't seen that resistance thing. So it's not consistent or repeatable even at the moment on demand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this one looks pretty repeatable, but
yeah, that one certainly seemed to be.
Yeah.
Just pretty consistent for you.
Yeah.
Now that same Addy that I just put on before is reading 1.056 ohms, so I know that's crazy high. Crazy high.
There it
So
is.
you guys sound like I feel, don't you?
Yeah, pretty much.
We sound like
We probably feel pretty close to how you feel too.
Yeah. Yeah. I think
we're not much of an old pro. You're an old pro.
I kept it going a little bit too much Saturday night.
We did totally kind of re-reserve the keep it going room for our last night though.
We did. We used that last night.
Yeah, Sunday night we had 15 of us sitting there just kind of relaxing.
It still smelled like Greek sweaty twerking.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was. I apologize to everybody for that. It made a lot of money, but yeah, sorry. That was anybody who saw that.
We should explain for those that weren't there.
We should.
You want to give your idea, Phil?
Well, we raised I think equal to what we raised at the last time we did that, maybe a little bit more, and then I came up with the idea that I would kick in $100 to have Dimitri go up there and twerk.
That was not a twerk, but
No, it was. It absolutely was. Actually, there were no really good twerking representatives there. But
it was more torque than twerking.
yeah. So Dimitri refused to do it unless it got up to $2,000, and sure enough, it did. And then he went out there, and I really need video of that, not for my own personal use, but to include in another video. Make everybody aware of what exactly happened there. But yeah, well, we got another $2,000 out of it, which was fantastic. And he went out there. I don't know. It was definitely not a torque, which is probably a good thing, because then his back would go out, and we'd have to hear from him the next day and stuff.
Yeah. I did see V from Sucking My Mod. She tried to give some lessons, but
that was the hokey pokey.
And Ruby.
Yeah. That was the there's a snake jump backwards.
Ruby. I love Ruby and V, and they did not represent the twerk all that much.
Oh, I have about 5 minutes of video of them practicing in the hotel room the night before.
Oh.
Mm.
And even with all that practice, nothing, huh?
No.
I think the highlight of the video is Ruby twerking herself right into the hotel room door.
Now, you guys, you disappeared on me because I called you up to the stage and you didn't show up.
There was a very, something foul happened. And,
Something foul did happen for a minute, so we did excuse ourselves for 5 or 10 minutes.
Right. That was the excuse the first time. What was the excuse the second time? Can we go ahead?
So the first time when you called,
that. Oh yeah.
that.
The second time was we smelled on the wind, so to speak, the possibility of us having to go twerk.
Getting called out, so we made like a tree and got the fuck out of there. Simple enough.
And I think I said it this way: I will dance horribly for advocacy, but I will twerk for nothing.
That's the thing, though. See, everyone else wanted to go. I would have been willing to maybe partake if I was more buttered up, if you will.
Yeah.
Only to see Sean and Angsty go at it. I would embarrass myself to see those two embarrassing.
Thank you. No. Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Man, with the lunch that you had that day, Foo, that would not have been good to be out there twerking.
No.
That would have been a second stink bomb going off in the room.
I didn't eat lunch that day, actually. I just had Chex Mix, homie. Sunday you're thinking of, I wouldn't have twerked on a Sunday.
So let's discuss for a minute what that was kind of building up to. So that was raising some money for the local advocacy group, yeah. And I don't remember the name of them off the top of my head. I'm drawing a blank.
There were multiples.
Yes, I'm talking about the local one.
No, I mean there were multiple. The money was split amongst multiple groups, and I will get the name of those groups in just a second.
Yeah, and then the next day too, a couple other companies kicked in. One company, let's see, do I have them written down here? Yeah, White Label talked to Kevin, really wasn't sure what was going on. They doubled what we made. I was talking to a company, and my wife, while we were talking to Vapor World, they didn't know what was going on because I was talking about something about alcohol sweating out of my pores. He wanted to know what was going on, and then we told him, so he doubled it. And then Cloud Chasers Inc. Kicked them in too. So all in all, it wound up being about $25,000 for the groups. Yeah,
that's good stuff. That's awesome.
That's really good stuff. Yeah,
and that's kudos to the folks that participated in the giving. We were donating at the door as well, which is also very cool.
And
I think Matt was like my mod made a sizable donation because he wanted to help V not. Well, I think he wanted to, what did he say? He wanted to make up for V's twerking.
Yeah, he wanted to make up for her twerking. Because he says that she can't separate her torso from her hips.
Yeah.
So when she moves, everything moves all at once. So.
And Vape Dojo made a around $450 donation as well. They raffled off a JMFD.
Yeah.
For the Oklahoma Vapers Advocacy Group.
That's the one I got.
The money went to the Oklahoma Vapers Advocacy Group, the Vaping Militia, the American Vaping Association, and CASA.
Right. There you go.
So
right on.
It was a lot of money. Like that, far and away, far surpassed any of the money raised at any of the other VCC events.
Yeah, it's really cool too because I do what I can for advocacy, but I am definitely not an advocate. I mean, I review products. That's what I do. So I help out where I can. And to be a part of something like that and to raise that kind of money, it's something I'm really proud of. So that's good, and I really appreciate everybody who went and supported that.
Yeah, it was fantastic. I mean, so I still hold that I think Kevin does the best. He's the best event planner in the industry. I think he has the right idea when he comes into an event. I think the events that he throws go off without a freaking hitch. He's on top of his game with things. Like I think he throws a good event.
And that's exactly why I support him and his shows. He's heavy on advocacy. It's professional. It's well done. There's not a lot of nonsense. It's not the circus that some of the other events have become.
Circus is a good word for it.
Yes.
And something that was really cool was, and we got, believe it or not, this is a first for me, was we got great feedback at the booth that we were at, and then online through social media. Kevin had set up someone to come in and do a battery safety talk for new users or anyone who would like to join on the stage. And the day before something happened, schedules, and he came up to us and said, "Hey guys, would you like to fill in for the person that was going to do the battery safety talk? If if you'd like to, no big deal. No pressure." And we said absolutely. We'd love to do that. So on Sunday we went up and had it ended up being almost an hour session. Right?
Were we up there for an hour?
Yeah,
we were up there for
it was only going to be, he's like 10, 15, 20 minutes, and it was really good. It was really good. We had a lot of information. There was a Q&A part where people were asking questions, and there was very good questions. People from the shops. There was shop owners that were there, just getting information. And it was really good to actually see people, sit down. And some of the vendors, Kurt from CCI, was actually in the crowd to come and sit down and listen to this stuff. And later, after that, some of the people who were watching or listening, even though they might not have been sitting there, said, that was great. We really loved the battery safety talk that you guys had, and it was overall battery safety and mod safety and stuff like that. So. That was something great.
But I mean, a lot of the other events, we wouldn't. I feel like we wouldn't have that kind of response for them.
Yeah,
we don't get that kind of response when we have technical discussions like that at a lot of other events. I mean, it was really cool to have 25 or 30 people there listening and who wanted to know about it, and the questions that we got were great.
Sean, you can have the exact same thing at other events. All you have to do is throw out T-shirts and e-liquid while you're doing the talk.
There you go. Possibly having some actual twerking people behind you.
Glass bottles only.
Right.
Oh, something else that he did that I thought was really cool too. You know how out of a lot of the events they do the group cloud picture.
Yeah.
Right? He did the I vape, I vote.
Yes.
I thought that was fantastic. I thought that was such a good idea. So much better than the group cloud photo.
Yes.
I thought.
Right? Kurt from CCI got a really good photo of the group cloud with the signs.
It's my cover photo right now on Facebook.
It was I'll send that over so that you can throw it up too, Masty.
Yeah.
I mean, I will say that the attendee bit was a little lower than the last event that I went to at Kevin's, but at this point I expect con attendance to start to trail off at every single convention, because there were 3 conventions the weekend before this one in 3 different parts of the country. Like, people don't drive to events anymore. They don't fly to events anymore. It's fairly rare because there's an event every other weekend, or every weekend, or 3 a weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I thought the attendance was really light on this one too. But I want to, he brings these events to a different location every time he does one, right? Yep. So there's really no telling what the density is of vapors there. But I wonder if that crazy huge gun show that was happening.
I think it absolutely did, because
you could not park anywhere. And if you did happen to get into an argument over a parking place with somebody, they were packing, man. They were walking around with rifles and shotguns. They had their handguns on their side. You don't want to argue with them over a parking place. But I mean, when we got there early too, and there was no place to park. There was just no place to park.
Oh yeah.
Here's the picture. Bassy's got the picture up.
Yep, I have the picture up. You want to pull it up?
I mean, it wasn't bad. It was better than a lot of events, but it was a little light for what I'm used to at this point for VCC events. And I think the parking situation and the gun show played a role. It was kind of with other big events happening in that direct area, same parking lot. Some people had a hard time finding it.
His Tampa event, which by the way, keep an eye out for that in March of 2016. Because Plumes will definitely be there. The Tampa event last year, had almost 7,000 people come through total. So and I was there, and it was jam packed. So I think it's also location and stuff that's going around. I mean, the first day we got there, I was looking for, or the day before, we went and scouted the place out, looking for a place to, where we were going to be, and I don't know how, but we ended up through some horse stables and driving on a sidewalk there was poop all over the place, and
Oh, is that where you took Sean for timeout?
Yeah. Actually, I picked up Sean at the stables. That's where he stayed.
Yeah, I stayed there most of that day. It was lonely. But we totally did drive down a fucking sidewalk. Because the road just ended and turned into a sidewalk, and you had no idea. But I mean, honestly, that's gonna be like, I still have the best time at his events. Even with the lighter crowd, I still have such a good time there because I love the way he runs his events.
Yeah, I totally agree. There's a good quality of people there too.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I mean,
it's a good mix of everybody. You know, I mean, I see a lot of a lot of older people, younger people, just a real good mix of people. It's a well-run event.
Yeah. He only finds places that are vape friendly. He only finds hotels that are vape, or that are at least semi-vape friendly.
Yeah.
When he suggests a hotel, I mean, we did the DJ Miami event in the hotel.
In the hotel, and they were super cool.
Yeah.
The hotel people were super cool.
And it was good too because Terrell had to and my wife had to drag me back to the room or carry me back there. I don't remember much of it. All I know is that when I wake up with my jeans on, it's one of those nights,
It's been a good one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But all in all, good event. I know we had a blast. I mean, it was the first time we got a chance to unveil this e-liquid thing that we've been doing for 8 months to the world. That was cool. Getting to see people's expressions live was a lot of fun. And I mean, we got to see a lot of old friends, Phil and Matt and V and Ruby and the Good Life guys, and
Joe Smith came through solo.
Joe Smith and the guys from Boilermaker came out and just to hang out. Like, it was a lot of fun.
Twisted Messes made an appearance.
Yeah, he did.
He came out for a few hours on Saturday. That was very nice of him.
Yeah, it was cool.
Congrats on that line too. Lots of luck with that.
Thank you. Thank you. Don't worry, we will have 12 for you soon. The Brits have screamed.
Yeah, it's Phil and the Brits saying 12. 12.
Philly and the Brits.
So it looks like that's going to probably be a thing.
So we said this, and I appreciate your good luck wish. We said this before, and it's even on the labels. We made it to vape. If anybody likes it, that's great. Y'all can come get some too. But I'm just gonna vape.
Yeah. So we had a really interesting chat the first night, Friday night, outside the bar, about the future of vaping and where vaping's going, and Phil has a lot of very strong opinions on vaping, some of which I think a lot of us share. So I think we should totally talk about some of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a talk about the future of vaping, not from a deeming FDA regulations point of view. This is just the future of vaping, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ignoring all that for the moment.
Yep.
Yeah.
One of the things that I love when I go up to Sean and he has me try a flavor in his atomizer, it makes my K-Funs seem like wide open drippers. And there's not a fucking tighter draw out there anywhere.
It's like sucking on a pencil. That's all there's to it.
But I think, and Dimitri and I did a talk on this on stage. It was a back to basics talk, and I feel like everything that's coming out right now, the direction of a lot of these companies, it's all super high watts and sub-ohm tanks and direct lung.
Wide open lungs, yep.
Yeah. And I totally think we've lost perspective of what this is supposed to be about, and it's supposed to be about tobacco harm reduction and saving some lives. And to do that, we need gear and we need equipment and we need advances in the mouth to lung area. And not only that too, but with the nicotine strengths, because I don't know of a single smoker, all right, that did a direct lung inhale on their cigarette. And when I talk about cigarettes, I'm talking about the real cigarettes, not the funny looking ones, right?
Right.
So when you have that smoker who's looking to quit and they go into a vape shop and they're getting set up with higher wattage devices, mouth to lung stuff, sub-ohming stuff, lower nicotine, My fear is, in my heart of hearts, I truly feel that they're not going to be very successful, right? That they may not be, because you're so different from what they're used to. Now, once you get them as a vapor, right? If they want to experiment with high wattage and sub-ohming and direct lunging, let them do whatever they want, right? But I think we need to give them a solution that they're comfortable with to get them started and to make them successful.
Well, the problem is the solution exists, but the solution is fucking expensive because all of that type of product scale is still made, but it's all made in the boutique-y high-end world, and that's really the only place to get stuff like that. I mean, most of it. Almost all of it.
K-Fun Lights Pluses are now relatively inexpensive.
Absolutely, but we haven't advanced past that in 2 years.
No, that's true. I don't see a whole lot of like giant leap forward there.
The Cloud One, the Ubertoot, the Rose, the Nectars, they're all relatively expensive Addies that are mouth-to-lung Addies. There's not a lot of not relatively expensive ones.
Right. We don't see those China companies, producing that high-quality $40 mouth-to-lung rebuildable. And then if you go into, the pre-built clearomizers and the clearomizer heads, really, if you think about it, because to this day I still recommend the Nautilus, right? It seems like we hit the Nautilus, and then advancements there have totally stopped, and they're getting put aside in favor of all the sub-ohm tanks and the direct. And before anybody starts this nonsense, I'm not against that, right?
Sure.
But there needs to be a mix. There needs to be a good mix. There needs to be alternatives, and there needs to be stuff out there for smokers, right?
I'm for the hobbyist side of vaping too.
Absolutely.
As a mouth-to-lung guy, I would love to be able to get my hands on inexpensive stuff. I will say that Kanger has done a pretty decent job with the Subox kits and the new things, because those 1.5 ohm heads on the 2 small airflow settings are pretty good. And I'm glad that they added that to the new product. I'm upset that they didn't include that functionality and stuff like the knee box, and I'm upset that that's a second thought for them rather than something that they include in all their product set.
Right. When they brought me when they showed me the prototypes of the knee box, they said the first thing you have to do is put an airflow controller on.
Yep.
Right. And they did not listen.
Because I really like the knee box. I think the knee box is a really cool idea.
Yeah.
But I think it has the functionality of the current sub tanks where you can close it off and put a higher ohm coil in it, it would be even better.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to play with the knee box eventually, but what I noticed right off the bat is a horrible delay in heat up time. And I don't know if that delay is in the signal. I got to put it on. I'm going to have to bust one apart to actually connect it to the scope. But
I get the same thing from the Subox.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's something with their chip. There seems to be a half a second to 1 second delay on the chip.
Yeah, I did a side-by-side when I had when I was playing with the sub box, because I went from using an SX Mini to going to a sub box, and I was like, night and day difference. I click the button audibly, and then you hear that rattlesnake. Shh. There's a decent delay on it.
Yeah.
I think the Jewel is something that we were speaking with a few vendors at the con, and I think that this is something that's kind of still on a lot of people are on the fence about it, right? And I think we're at a point where vendors are saying, well, do we buy these and start pushing them, or do we kind of wait and see how people react to using them? But
the only downside of it is it's super fucking proprietary.
Yeah.
Everything about this thing is proprietary.
Yeah.
It's proprietary. It's got kind of a weird look and feel to it. And also, I mean, if you're gonna, it's extremely satisfying, but it's satisfying at the expense of crushing you with nicotine.
Yeah, I don't find it
just like that. Case in point, right there. Case in point.
Right?
Oh, God.
So, I mean, I want to see something that's satisfying, at around 18 or 12. Not like 50 or something like that. So
it's not going to happen on a 1.5 volt battery.
Yeah, I don't think you can do that on a 1.5 volt Sig-alike.
That's where the improvements need to be made. That's where the innovation needs to happen.
We need to shrink. And I mean, finding the innovation in batteries that we've had so far doesn't come from vaping.
I think for a smoker, though, I think the Joule is already there.
It's a good entry point to get somebody off cigarettes, I think, and I think it's the closest thing we've had that will work. That's not overwhelming to a current smoker.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've seen the same thing, and I said it the other day. I feel like we have really slowed in innovation a lot lately. What we've done is more watts, more power. More watts, more power. We're not changing the way we vape. We're not making something that vapes better. We're just adding more watts and more power, more watts to it.
Right.
And to me, that's kind of boring.
Yeah.
I want to see like a return to the design and how vaping works.
Yeah. For me, it's horribly, boring. Because to me, innovation is not more watts, more watts, more watts. It's better interfaces. It's plug and play. I mean, and I said this in the talk. When is temperature control really going to take over? Temperature control is going to take over when you screw your atomizer into it and you hit like a config button or whatever, and it says, okay, I know what you are. I know your temperature control. Let me do a couple of tests. All right, I know what kind of metal you are. You're all set. Go ahead and vape.
Yeah.
That's when, because temperature. I mean, it's that way with some of the pre-built coils, but I don't know. It's still a little flaky, still a little hard to use, and I think that's really one of the big reasons why that Radius does not have temperature control, right?
I think so.
Yeah,
and I agree with them. I don't think it's there yet. I think the mathematical equation of minimalistic resistance changes to guess temperature is a really cool idea, but I don't think it's a fully finished concept, and I don't think it's not there enough for me to be happy with it and to use it and to adopt nickel to do that, because I don't like nickel.
Right. And there's the other usability problems that I've had with it too, right? Because I'm the guy that's always taking my mods and addies and switching them around and changing things up depending on what I want to vape juice-wise, as well as what I want to vape and how I want to vape. Because I go from mouth to lung to restricted lung on a variety of different atomizers, and I do it all day long. So if one of them happens to be warm and I want to put it on another mod, sorry, right?
Right. Yeah.
Temperature and you're fucked.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
You kind of have to just let it sit there, right? It's gotta keep going on the same mod.
Yeah. I said this to a lot of people. I really think 2016, because I think we've hit a wall a little bit, and I think 2016 is going to be the year of gimmicky, right? Yeah. I think we're going to start to see these gimmicky features and add-ons and things that are coming, because in a way we have hit a wall. So now what can we do to sell more product? Right, and sometimes the worst enemy of good enough is better, and I really think we're going to start to see, like, some of the tanks, and I haven't tried them all, but these tanks with 3 coil heads, and each coil head has like 3 coils built into it. I mean, sure, there's people out there chasing the perfect vape, but some of the stuff I really do scratch my head and I'm like, do we really need it? Do we really need it, or is this just something else? Today I got one. It's a dripper. They tried to get it to me for review, and what it does is, as it heats up, it changes color. So it's got like a color sensitive. It's made with a color sensitive paint or coating.
Is it made by Hypercolor?
I don't know. I don't know. I read it real quick and I said, nah, this is gimmicky. I said, I don't look at gimmicky stuff. So, and I think this is what's going to happen in 2016. So I'm really going to, once again, try to back off on a lot of the gimmicky stuff, a lot of the Me Too products. Like one company comes out with a 75-watt box device, and then there's like 50 other companies with another 75-watt device. That at the end of the day, they're boxes. You push the button and the coil gets hot. Right.
Yeah.
But I think everybody wants to know if you can get it in Pheel.
Pheel?
Pheel. So I'm gonna actually have to explain that, because I have no
idea what you're talking about.
I just Googled obscure colors, and that is Pheel.
What?
Wow.
So can you get it in any of these unbelievably obscure colors? Can you get it in Xanadu?
I think that'd be hot.
Yeah, I mean,
that's a Rush song, isn't it?
That's what I think everybody wants to know. Can you get it in Smaragdine?
Smargadine.
Or Starcoline?
No. So you said gimmicky. So are you talking about like silly features like the hypercolor thing? Because what I remember when you said gimmicky, the first thing I thought about though was a review you did. God, that was probably like 2 years ago. The thing that kind of looked like a bowling pin that had like USB speakers built into it.
Oh yeah, the Muses.
Look at him, sharp as a tack. That one right there. Just
I don't remember a lot. I remember that one. The reason why I remember that one is because I spray painted it pink, okay, and I gave it as a gift to Dimitri, live on stage, of course, in front of everybody. And instead of giving it to him with some e-liquid, I gave it to him with a tube of KY jelly.
Nice. That's good. Go slowly. Work your way into it.
Yeah, it was interesting to see people walking around the convention. We had a few people stop by our booth that had one even had an old school Pro Tank.
Yeah, he did.
That he was still using, and he'd been vaping for what, 6 months?
No, he'd been vaping for a while. That was like his first kit from a couple of years ago, and he said that was the one he liked the draw on that one.
Yeah.
And all these other things that are coming out. That was a Pro Tank one. That was what, 3 years ago? That was pushing 3 years ago.
And you know what I say to that? So what? Good for you. You're not smoking.
That's exactly what I told him.
What you're using. Like
I think that showcases exactly what you were saying. That there's just there hasn't been a lot that came out in the last 3 years for people who liked that style of vaping.
Right. Like I run into people every now and then that are still they're Genesis fans. That's all they want to vape. They want to vape Genesis atomizers. And you know what? So what? That in your journey in vaping, that's the exit that you got off.
Yeah.
And you stay on that exit for as long as you're happy. And don't care about what the rest of the world is doing. Just do your own thing. Be happy. Be satisfied. Vape, don't smoke. Right?
Yeah. Have you seen the Holy Lord of Mesh yet, Brian?
Huh?
Have you seen the Holy Lord of Mesh yet?
The Holy Lord.
Oh, you got built up on Mesh yesterday. Mesh Master Race.
It's the same shit as I told you about when I had it done in the Sat 22 that I picked up a year ago.
Same feeling.
I wanted to give it a whack. I wanted to get your like suck a golf ball through a friggin' garden hose draw, and I wanted to try. I wanted to give it a fair whack. The Sat 22 was sold in like 3 days. This one, I haven't even tried it since I got home. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, we got home, we got back here and ate dinner, and then started on the show.
Yeah.
Oh, I will say, by the way, I did chunk it on the flask in the bottom of my bag, and it did piss all over everywhere because it's fucking Mesh Jenny. I've been running K-Funds or bottom coil cotton things for so long. I don't think about throwing my tank somewhere because you do that and it's fine. I can't do it with the mesh.
So, Phil, the guys from Music City, the people who mix the e-liquid for us, told Brian that they were going to give him a mesh build this weekend that was going to change his opinion on mesh.
Oh.
And I need to say thank you to Andrew. Thank you for wanting me.
Yeah. But I told him that I didn't think that was going to be the case.
My mesh days are over unless something really revolutionary comes out.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't disagree with Phil. The only thing that I try to stay open-minded, even though 95% of my vaping is done on an RTA, and the other 5% is on a good dripper, and it's all with cotton. But I try every now and then. I try to dredge up something that I might like. Maybe I'll pull out an E-Vite. I'm pretty sure I got an E-Vite in there somewhere. Maybe I'll give that a whack sometime. I try to remind myself of my roots every now and then. I'm not gonna go back to CE4 though. CE4's out. I'm done. I don't care.
Yeah, that's long since out. I'm good.
I want to go back and vape a Cardo tank.
I've considered getting Cardos and giving Cardos a shot again because it's been a long time.
I did that several months ago. I pulled on an old Cardo and did the old condom trick, and I went back a little bit. It worked. I went right back to my Rose and Ubertute and stuff though.
I still think the K-Fun was one of those things that really changed vaping for a lot of people.
So people in chat are asking what you're vaping on.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Who, me right now?
Yeah.
Devices. I'm actually all DNA 200 tonight, so I got a lava box with a K-Fun. I've got a Tug Life tugboat with a K-Fun, and I've got and Opus with a K-Fun. But I was gonna do some dripping too, but I can't get. Well, I could probably put it on one of my DNA 200s. But I was playing with because I wanted to have this set up and usable tonight, but that's not gonna happen. So, but my velocity, I always have my velocity on my side for dripping. And then
you like me, you grab a DNA 200 and put a 20-watt K-Phone on it.
That's right. Well, you know, and see, with the DNA 200, I don't give a shit about the 200 part of it, right?
Right.
What I like is the eScribe software and the configurability and the tools that they give you for really good quality temperature control, and the fact that I could use any material and I could have those CSV files and all that other jazz. To me, that's the innovative part about the DNA 200, not necessarily the 200 part, right?
I like that I can add my face as the lock screen, personally.
Yeah. That's nice.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've got my logo on these too. Sure.
Phil, do you remember what the name? If you know what it was, the name of the tank that Dimitri was vaping on this past weekend. What was that little?
Yeah. It almost looks like a little
Evic.
Like,
yeah.
it looks like an EVOD. He said they're like $9.
Yeah, it's it comes from overseas. I have one. I just don't know the name of it, but he swears by that little thing.
Yeah, I was talking to him about it, and he really liked you know, the vape out of that. So
yeah, he finally put one in my hand, and I do want to try it out because one of the things that I'm going to be doing is just a side by side with 3 of the more well-known sub-ohm tanks, but in a mouth-to-lung configuration to see which one gives me the best performance. Because I mean, even when I'm trying different e-liquids and stuff, I would still much rather, you know, pull out a coil, throw it away, rinse it all out, than, you know, go into the K-Fun and rip the cotton out and all that stuff. But yeah, he says nothing but he gives that thing high praises, and we usually, for the most part, jive with what we like. So that's something that I want to try.
yeah,
I'm gonna throw out there. I'm gonna say Ego 1, sub tank, and I don't know about a third one that's good in that configuration. The Ego 1 is brilliant in a mouth to lung configuration though. I quite like the Ego 1. I thought that was a brilliant little kit.
I was looking at the Triton, the sub tank, and Inniken's new one.
The Triton is another one, yeah. Ruby sent me a Triton for that purpose.
Yep.
So, we have talked future of vaping, we have talked VCC, we have talked Flask, we have talked about a lot of other stuff throughout the course of this. I think it's almost bedtime.
Yeah. Yeah, Phil needs to go to bed about the same as me.
I used to be able to like recover from hangovers a lot better than I do now. It's that gets. Although I tell you what, Sunday I woke up and I was just ready to go. I didn't have that crushing headache that I really thought I was, especially after waking up in bed with my jeans on. So that was pretty good. But you know, the jitters and the shakes and, you know, sweating alcohol. You could have licked me on Sunday and gotten drunk, by the way.
Just as a cautionary tale, the Plumes of Hazard does not recommend licking Phil if you see him.
Well, do you have anything else that you want to say to everybody that's watching, Phil?
No, but you know, I appreciate the fact that you guys. What do you have? Your 100th episode coming up?
Yeah, next week.
Right. So you have your exciting 100th episode. And you had me on the week before, and you guys are all fucking hungover and tired. That's so.
You know, I'll tell you this though. You know what's exciting about the 100th episode? We get to take our first week off after it.
Ever? Oh, really? Ever?
All 4 of us have been at every show every Monday for 100 shows.
Yeah.
Wow.
We're taking a week off.
Yeah.
That's a hell of a track record, guys. That's impressive.
It's vacation time.
That's what's nice about doing the reviews is when I don't want to do it, I don't do it.
That's good.
Yeah.
So we need to figure that out. Let's make that happen.
Yeah.
Oh, so I'm just gonna throw this out there because we haven't yet. Take this week, guys. Go through old videos. If there's anything that sticks in your head as particularly funny, get us a timestamp of the video, and if we might air it, and you might have a chance to win something. Because I think we're going to do like one of those touchy-feely remembrance episodes for number 100.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Phil, thank you so much, man. You're
man.
always a blast to have on.
My pleasure, guys. Thank you very much for having me on. Thanks for what you guys do for vaping. And you know what? Because you do have one of the shows that I respect because you guys have level heads, and I think you see it from all sides. And I think that's important because there are a lot of sides out there, and we really need to support everybody. So thanks, guys.
Yeah, well, we appreciate it. We love you to death.
Absolutely.
Everybody, thanks for coming.
Peace.
Peace.
See ya.
Deuces.
Toodaloo.